Hello, everybody, and welcome to the next episode of the Rational Trader Podcast. JD here with my co-host Louis Navellier on Jay Powell, Fed Friday, Jackson Hole, market roaring, rip roaring, rally, rally, rally. Happy Friday, Louis.
Yeah, well, at least Jerome Powell went out with a bang, and this is a big reversal because the minutes from the last FOMC meeting was all about inflation risk, nothing about the Labor Department. Even though Christopher Waller went on Bloomberg and predicted the labor problems that before the Labor Department revised everything down. So this is a big deal, and so he acknowledged that there's real employment risks. There's going to be a shift in the strategy, but I think the grand finale was he says they're 100 basis points above the neutral rate. So that means they could cut up to four times. So that's big. Scott Bessent.
Okay, time out because I'm tracking with you 1,000%. But I heard that 100 basis point comment as well, and I had to do a double take. I actually hit pause on the telly and rewound it to. I think what he was saying there, Louis, is that they've already moved rates 100 basis points less restrictive. It doesn't mean they
No,
are cutting.
no, he said he's 100 basis points above the neutral rate.
Okay, well, I'm going to have to go back and look at the transcript because if
That's what I
that's
was.
if
I
that's
got half
the
the transcript. Yeah,
if that's the case, then okay, that's surprising because to telegraph, uh, I mean, that's the right thing he should be doing, and he should be doing it immediately. Not only that, he's 6 months late. What I always or what confounded me so much about what Powell was doing was him saying the risks are balanced between inflation and employment. But his policy was restrictive, meaning they were
correct.
clearly
They still remain restrictive. Yeah,
right, right. And but today was huge because he basically said we are not going to be restrictive. So what's up for debate is what is the neutral rate? And if you're saying the 100 basis points is what they've determined to be neutral, then okay, then we can triangulate off that.
correct. So the other thing is he did say the economy's slowing down. It's showing up in consumer spending, and that's consistent with what they've said before. But listen, Christopher Waller got his point across. The guy went on Bloomberg, made his point before the Labor Department had the downward revisions. There's been no employment growth for the past 3 months, significant. And, kudos to Powell. He did the right thing. Now, of course, today's rally is exaggerated by all the short covering because we had all that mean reversion in the previous days. So all those shorts are being squeezed. But treasury yields are down, and that's what we want to see.
Yeah, I it's going to take some time to digest what all of this means. And you're right, the market is, especially in the small cap space, uh, engaged in some real short covering. Although the Russell had been enjoying a nice rally in June and July. So
No, we've been overbought for some time. Okay, I mean this is the fifth month of a rally, and we really didn't see profit taking till maybe late Monday, and then it accelerated on Tuesday, Wednesday, and
I mean,
yesterday.
the S&P was down a whopping 2%, Louis. I mean,
I know, but I'm looking at the leaders like Planetary Technologies, the Nvidias of the world, and all the other market leaders. But they were just hitting things that went up. They were hitting gold stocks that even when gold was going up.
well,
It was just mean reversion, algorithmic trading. People have to realize no, people don't work in August, okay? Especially in the stock market, okay? Machines are running wild. So it was definitely a Skynet scenario.
you're right, and I myself was able to hit the driving range with my daughter, and
Yeah.
yesterday afternoon we went to the state fair, and a good send off for me because she's heading to Taiwan tomorrow. So
Yep. Yeah. So just
I gotta tell you, she said something interesting to me. I was surprised. Um, but and this wasn't a political statement. This was a quality of life statement. She's looking forward to getting out of the country and being in Taiwan. She said it's a safer place. She said women in Taiwan can go out for a 10 to 11 p.m. run by themselves and feel 1,000% safe. And they do that because it's so hot there. They have to run in the middle of the night to get the cool weather. But I thought that was interesting. I don't know what that says about America, but
well, in Asian societies, especially the established ones like Japan, they they like you to conform. Okay.
yes.
And they're very orderly. So Japan, Singapore, Taipei, and they're pretty orderly in China as well. It's just China was different because they were mixing their rural population with the urban, and and it was a little different. But no, you have to conform, and if you do something wrong, they'll kill you. So
Well, yeah, that's what I told her is I said, they're more authoritarian. And she said, yeah, you're right. When you go on the train in Taiwan, everyone's in a complete straight line
yeah.
and you don't mess around. And the other thing, you're
Hmm.
entirely quiet. There's no speaking or
Hmm.
raising your voice or commotion. It's apparently she likes that. I always told her she should have gone to the Citadel.
Well, she may be being recruited, so we'll see. Okay. You got to be careful when you go into government. They're raiding John Bolton's house today. So,
I saw that.
yeah, yeah.
Well, if nothing else, they're going to scare the bejeebers out of anybody wanting to go into politics.
Yeah, yeah. Well, also
I
Trump
mean,
does.
who would want that?
Yeah. Well, and now, of course, we got the whole Lisa Cook scenario, where Trump's trying to kick her off. Even though he probably has a majority to cut rates now, he still would like to get rid of Lisa Cook. She was definitely not the most qualified lady. So we'll see if they prosecute her or not. But they're doing the
I
same
think
thing.
that's less about cutting rates and more about the um propaganda of woke.
Yeah, correct. And also, but they are going after Adam Schiff for the same thing. Okay.
Hmm.
I think they try to get Letitia James on something like that. Oh, she's ticked because her conviction got overturned in the appellate court. So
Yeah, again, it's just a hot mess here. I'm I'm waiting for Trump to talk about a third term. That's got to be coming up here.
no, his ankles are swollen, so he's showing his age, and he's talking about getting into heaven. He knows he can see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Well, as they said in Poltergeist, is it go to the light, Carol Ann?
Yep, yep. But no, I'm at the age where my feet swell and I got to elevate them. It's simple as that. It's like, I flew yesterday cross country, and it's you can wear compression socks, you can do a lot of stuff, but yeah, you get as you get older and older, your legs will swell. Yeah,
Well, you and I talked about this a day or two ago about I'm noticing my body recovery time. I'm sore as heck all night long from a
yeah.
day of activity, and then when I wake up, I'm stiff, and getting unstiff takes longer.
Well, worst case, you got to do an ice bath.
Yeah, or is it the hyperbaric chambers? I got to bring a
Well,
mobile.
hyperbaric is puts more oxygen in your bloodstream. You would do that if you're like a cyclist. You could sleep on that. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. Or you could just move to the mountains and pedal hard, So, but uh, yeah, it's interesting. But obviously, it's a wild August. It's a wild week. But I'm glad to see those shorts get squeezed, especially on stocks like Palantir, which are has had a lot of bad news. I mean, not bad news, but just been attacked viciously by one of the ex Citron guys. And so stocks like that get to bear everybody.
Are you invested in Palantir?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're redoing the NSA, the CIA, the Defense Department intelligence. They're trying to make government more efficient. The problem with it, and we discussed this with your cousin Paul, the AI guru. The problem with intelligence is it looks at so much stuff, you eventually start to look at garbage in, garbage out. And so there's a reason we missed 9/11. There's a reason we missed October 7th. And you just might want to look at more correlated things. Okay.
Yeah, and the neural intelligence, the natural intelligence, that's what my cousin Paul
Yeah.
DeLugash and his company does, is focused on using less inputs and getting more high quality results
Correct.
with less energy.
Correct. No, yeah, I agree with Paul. I mean, that's wow. The way I was trained to build models is the more stuff you put in them, the more they're going to fail. Uh,
Right,
something
right.
called degrees of freedom. So even in my 8 factor fundamental model, I really only need 4 to 5 factors. By the time I add factors 6, 7, 8, the incremental improvement is very marginal.
Interesting. Let me dive deeper into that. What are the four factors that are the most important?
It
If I
changes. And it also changes per asset class. So in small
Okay.
cap, it's more earnings momentum and earnings surprises.
Okay.
In large cap, it's more margin expansion, earning stability, high return equity. Um, Sales growth is important for all of them. But we build specific small, mid, and large cap models internally,
That's
and we got
fascinating, Louis. We haven't really spent much time diving into your models. I would have expected you to say it's consistent over asset classes.
no,
So that's a new data point for me. That's pretty interesting.
no. And then remember, as you go down the cap ladder, your stocks are going to act more like bunnies. They're going to sit, they're going to hop, they're going to sit, they're going to hop. The big challenge for the large caps is half their sales are outside of the country, and economies are weak around the globe. So that really hurts a 3M or a Procter and Gamble or any big multinational. Deere had pretty bad results the other day. Well, they've had bad results for a while, but when you get more domestic, you have fewer of these problems.
Louis, as you may or may not recall, one of the things that I do on a macro level, and it's something I focus on quite a bit, is the volatility index. And I know with daily expiration options, the efficacy of the volatility index is not what it used to be. But I did some studying of the volatility index this week, and I think it's important to get this out there that since the election, the volatility index has spiked over 20. I believe it's 7 or 8 times, which is really fascinating to me, especially when on a day like today we're back trading right around 15 on the volatility index. So for anybody that wants to hedge their portfolio, or in fact even just make a speculation, counting on a continuation of these kind of volatility spikes, we had a little bit of an appetizer in a spike earlier this week. I think we got up to 17, maybe 17 and a half. But there, at some point in the next 30 to 60 days, we're going to spike again above 20.
Yeah, and what happened before we had this mean reversion sell-off, the VIX got very low. So when the VIX gets low and quiet, It's kind of the quiet before the storm. And so I'm just relieved that the sell-off was so short because this is a big short covering rally today. But yeah, volatility is something to watch. So when it gets high, the selling pressure will abate. When it gets low, it's a sign that something bad might happen. So
Now,
right now,
as a trader, I I mean, in my heart of hearts, I'm a long-term fundamental value investor. So, but from a trading standpoint, I was able to enter two Sigma trades this week. I actually closed them this
yeah,
morning
yeah,
on the spike. I
yeah,
mean, I'm not, we buy the stock and we bought call options on both of these, and they're both up, 5 to 7% today. Lock those gains in
yeah.
25 to 50% on the options in 2 days. I mean, maybe I'll get another opportunity to trade it at a later date. But it is nice to get some of this overbought steam out of the air so new doors can be opened.
Yeah, yeah, and it's just time to be happy. It's as simple as that. It's just don't worry, be happy. Um, Ed Yardini pointed out that although the earnings are up 10.6% this quarter, we haven't had Navellier and Costco yet. Uh, that's pretty strong, but the average surprise is 8.8%, and that's the strongest he's ever recorded in the 39 years he's been monitoring earnings surprises. So
Oh
that's
boy.
so there's a reason that this August isn't as bad as most August. It started strong. We had the sell off in recent days. Obviously, with today's rally, we've reversed all that sell off. So, we'll see what next week holds. But
The natural contrarian in me should have known better. Everybody and their brother was talking about an August correction late July, and I think that lasted all of one day on the first day of
yeah,
August.
but the reason we do that is we have to manage expectations. I'm going to be doing a podcast next week, laying out what I expect for the rest of the year, and I'll literally go month by month, week by week, and so it's important that we translate what ride we're on. Okay. And
Right.
I think the most bullish thing that'll be coming up is Russell's going to do a second realignment in November. So I think it'll start in October. They'll be releasing preliminary changes and they'll finalize it, I think, before Thanksgiving. So that's going to be a big one. And small caps are more domestic. The stocks in S&P are more multinational. So, it's the US is it. I deal with this all the time. The most fascinating thing about our industry, the newsletter industry, is some of the big publishers out there just take the rhetoric from the Chinese Communist Party and rehash it. And obviously it's very careful rhetoric, okay? But, for my clients that get so scared by some of these other folks out there professing the end of the world,
Right.
I remind them like, this guy lives in Asia and he's a member of the Communist Party, and when are you going to move? So bad, move.
Louis, I've known you now for 20 years, and one of the things I admire about you the most is what you just said, because our industry is quick to scare people when they shouldn't. Now, I'm a pragmatist. I don't believe things go up forever. I really kind of cringe at the those that are perma bulls without the same discipline that you have on an individual stock basis. And I think that's important because you often say each stock for itself. And that came out during this last earnings
Oh
season.
yeah, yeah.
Good stocks were rewarded. Your model finds those great stocks, and I bow down to you, sir.
Well, we appreciate it. So yeah, when earnings are on, we're on. There are environments where earnings don't work. Usually when there's macro fears, asteroids going to hit Earth and life as we know it, things like that. But right now we don't have that kind of fear.
Yeah, I mean, and the only thing we have to fear is fear itself, right?
Right. But the bottom line is the Fed's going to join the party. We're going to get a turbo boost from the Fed. Market's going to broaden out. We're getting a lot of tariff revenues to help deal with the deficit and all. Trump is on the warpath. You can see what he's done to Washington, D.C. I look forward to talking to my friends there, see what's going on. And you can see what he's doing. Well, his team is doing to expose a lot of the corruption and fake information. And be fascinating how deep they go.
Well, Louis, I know you have a, heart out here, so we're
Yep.
gonna make this a short podcast this week. I think the final is that let's just be happy about what's going on. Prosperity is, uh, does lift all boats
Yeah.
eventually, and
And I would add, we typically rally going into holiday weekend, so hopefully we'll rally going to Labor Day, and then we might have some profit taking afterwards. But it's time to be happy.
yeah, well, if the and it does seem like the Federal Reserve is closer to in sync with what's happening in the economy, and that then really does give us a risk on green light.
That's correct.
Okay, Louis, thank you very much as always for your thoughtful comments and stock ideas. This is JD for the Rational Trader Podcast. Take care, everybody. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you all next week.